Listen carefully. Take one slow, real breath. That strange tightness in your chest is not just anxiety. You woke up again at 3 in the morning with your mind racing, completely out of control. Your shoulders feel heavy. You feel entirely isolated. Stop letting the world convince you that you are just stressed or working too hard. That is your spirit detecting a massive shift in your reality. You did not click this message by accident. Your intuition dragged you here because heaven is trying to hand you a decoder ring for the weird phenomena happening around you lately. People are acting strange. Doors are closing unexpectedly. The people you trusted most have suddenly gone completely silent. I am here to tell you a truth that will shatter everything you thought you knew. There is a secret they kept from you. A secret so deeply hidden that it broke my heart when I saw what you have been through. You have given them everything. You poured your soul into people who only took from you. You stayed quiet to keep the peace while they drained your energy dry. And because of your pure heart, they severely underestimated you. Funny how everyone pretended they did not see your light. They always described you the same way. Too kind, too forgiving, too willing to sacrifice your own happiness for their comfort. But behind your back, they were terrified of your potential. They knew who you really were from the very beginning. They saw the divine mark on your life before you even realized it yourself. That is exactly why they tried to keep you small and confused. If you leave this message now, you will single-handedly shut the door on the exact explanation your soul has been crying out for. You will remain in the dark about the very mechanism they used to block your blessings. Do not take your eyes off this screen. The heavy attacks you have been facing recently are not random bad luck. They are hard proof that the enemy is absolutely panicking. Why are they panicking? Because a massive energetic shift has just been approved in your name. They want you to swipe away. They want you to think this is just another generic motivational video. If you scroll past this, you will miss the specific hidden message buried inside this breakthrough. You will miss the physical key to unlock it. Think about the tears you cried in complete silence. You thought nobody saw you breaking down in your room. You thought your prayers were bouncing off the ceiling and coming back completely empty. I am telling you right now that every single tear was counted. Heaven kept a meticulous record of every time you were betrayed by someone you defended. You defended them while they secretly plotted against your peace of mind. You are the empath with boundaries who they tried to destroy. They fed off your pure frequency because they had no light of their own. You felt that sudden drop in energy whenever they entered the room. You felt the physical nausea when they texted you with their fake affection. That was not your imagination playing tricks on you. That was your spiritual alarm system screaming at you to run. But you stayed because you believed you could heal them. You tried to fix people who were divinely assigned to test you. Here is the heartbreaking secret they never wanted you to discover. They did not abandon you because you were not good enough. They pushed you away because your light was entirely too blinding for their demons. Your presence demanded a level of honesty they could not give. They kept this a secret because admitting it would mean acknowledging your absolute superiority over their toxic games. They needed you to feel small so they could feel relevant. You are not crazy. You are not delusional. The profound loneliness you feel right now is actually a sacred protection protocol. The universe had to isolate you to clear the toxic residue they left in your energy field. They broke your heart, but they accidentally forged a warrior in the process. Welcome to your era of quiet authority. The same people who ignored your texts are suddenly feeling incredibly uncomfortable when your name is mentioned. This is not the algorithm bringing you here today. This is an urgent interception by your spiritual guides. They are stepping in because the window is closing fast. You have been wandering in a desert of confusion for months. You felt entirely disconnected from your own purpose. But every closed door was a divine redirection away from a trap. If you leave now, the blessing will still arrive, but you will not have the spiritual equipment to hold it. Make a promise to your future self right now. Promise that you will not let this message fade into the noise. There is a hidden mechanism that blocked your prayers for years. I am going to reveal exactly what it is and how they used it against you. Do not scroll away. The truth about your darkest season is about to be exposed, and once you hear it, you will never walk into a room the same way again. Your entire reality is about to shift permanently into the life you were always meant to live. You are completely exhausted. The tiredness you feel goes far beyond needing a good sleep. It is a deep weariness in your bones, and every single day you wake up feeling like you ran a marathon before your feet even hit the floor. You carry a weight that no one else can see. You smile and pretend everything is fine, but your soul is heavy. Hear this truth right now. Stop blaming yourself for the delays in your life. Stop thinking you did something wrong to deserve this endless season of waiting. You have scrutinized every mistake you ever made. You replay old conversations in your head and wonder if you should have been better. But the pain you carry is not a punishment. The universe is not angry with you. The closed doors were never a sign of your failure or your lack of worth. They were a divine protection protocol designed to keep you safe. Heaven deliberately slowed your progress to protect you from rooms you were never meant to enter. You were moving toward people who were secretly assigned to destroy you. They saw your pure heart as a resource to exploit. The narcissists and energy vampires flocked to your light because they lived in total darkness. You gave them endless chances. You poured your absolute best into people who gave you nothing but confusion in return. And when you finally had nothing left to give, they called you selfish. That betrayal left a deep scar on your spirit. You started to doubt your own intuition and your own incredible power. You wondered why your kindness was always rewarded with pain and rejection. But you need to understand that your beautiful empathy was never the problem. Your capacity to love is your greatest weapon against the darkness of this world. The isolation you are experiencing is intentional. You are not lonely because you are unlovable or broken. You are going through a sacred quarantine. The universe had to separate you from the crowd to cleanse your energy field from their toxic residue. You are being prepared for a massive elevation that requires absolute purity. Breathe that truth in and let it settle. You did not fail the test. The heavy resistance you felt was actually the friction of your soul breaking generational curses. You are the cycle breaker for your family. Stepping out of the matrix takes massive energy. Tap the like button right now as an act of agreement with what heaven just spoke to your spirit. You have done the difficult inner work. You prayed in the quiet hours of the night when everyone else was comfortably sleeping. You faced your deepest shadows alone while the people who hurt you avoided their own reflection. You forgave people who never even bothered to offer you an apology. Your spiritual resume is flawless and heaven knows it. But despite all your incredible growth, something still feels completely stuck. You watch other people succeed effortlessly while you struggle for every single inch of progress. You know deep down that you carry a much higher potential than you are currently expressing. There is a frustrating gap between who you are and what your reality looks like. You have tried everything they told you to do. You tried positive thinking and visualizing your ideal future. You read the books and watched the endless videos online. But no matter how much effort you pour into your spiritual practices, the big breakthrough always seems to stay just one step out of your reach. It feels like an invisible wall is standing between you and your blessing. This is where everything changes for you. Before we go any further into the spiritual meaning of your journey, I want to hold something in front of you. Something that was discovered not inside a church or a spiritual community, but inside a prestigious research laboratory. Something that won the highest scientific recognition available today. Most chosen ones have never been told about this hidden discovery. Because it explains the exact physical reason why you have felt so hopelessly blocked. It explains the massive gap between the person you know yourself to be and the version of you that currently exists. I will show you exactly what the researchers found, but I cannot reveal it just yet. First, I need you to comprehend what was taken from you. I need you to see how the modern world systematically suppressed your divine gifts before you could use them. You were robbed of your natural frequency, so I want you to hold a very specific question in your mind as we continue. What if the gap in your life is not a character flaw? What if the block has a scientific name that no one ever told you about? Think about that for a moment. What if the distance you feel between your current struggle and your promised wealth is not a spiritual failure at all? What if it is a neurological mechanism that is fully reversible? The answer to this mystery is going to shock you completely. You have carried the heavy burden of guilt for entirely too long. You thought your faith was just too weak to manifest the life you desperately wanted. But the truth is that you have been trying to receive a divine broadcast with a broken antenna. Your soul is perfectly ready. The problem lies entirely in the hidden frequency of your physical mind. The betrayal you experienced was not a mistake. It was a calculated eviction orchestrated by the universe to remove parasites from your life. You wanted to save them. You thought your love could fix their broken souls, but they were assigned to drain you, and the universe had to step in with absolute authority because you refused to let them go. They did not leave you because you failed. They left you because your frequency became completely incompatible with their illusions. A dishonest person cannot breathe the same air as a clean spirit. They started to feel uncomfortable around your silence. They acted out. They lied. They gossiped behind your back because your pure light exposed their hidden ugliness to everyone around them. You felt a terrible grief when they walked away. You blamed your own personality. You thought you were too difficult to love. But heaven was throwing a celebratory banquet while you were weeping on your bedroom floor. The spirits were cheering because the parasite was finally removed from your sacred temple. Rejection is always just a redirection toward your true inheritance. The extreme isolation you feel right now is the second phase of this divine mechanism. You are being completely scrubbed clean. The universe closed every door to ensure no one could interfere with your pending upgrade. You had to be alone. You had to look at your own reflection without the noisy distractions of toxic people who only wanted to exploit your kindness. But let us look deeper into your past. Think back to your childhood days. Do you remember how effortless the world felt back then? Ideas came to you instantly. You knew things before they happened. You felt a deep connection to everything. The universe seemed to work with you in perfect harmony. You had a rare spark of pure creative genius. Here is what they never told you about that magical childhood state. The reason the universe responded to your desires so quickly was not just luck or youthful imagination. It was a physical reality in your mind. Scientists have a specific name for it. They call it the gamma brainwave. And it is the exact frequency your brain was running naturally. Then, adulthood arrived with its heavy demands. The modern world went to work on your pure spirit. The endless stress of survival mode began to take a toll. The toxic school system trained you to conform instead of create. The screens and the frantic rhythm of daily life choked your inner light. Every single year, this sacred frequency was suppressed further until it went silent. When gamma fades from your mind, your natural genius fades with it. Your lightning intuition begins to dull. The magical synchronicities stop happening. The wonderful sense that the universe is working with you goes completely silent. You are left operating in a dense survival mode. You feel like you are pushing a massive boulder up a steep hill every single day of your life. You became an adult who carries a constant sense of anxiety. You feel like you are always waiting for the other shoe to drop. This is the direct result of a brainwave that has been forced into a permanent state of emergency. Your mind is trapped in a loud room, and the quiet voice of your soul cannot break through the modern static that surrounds you. Most people will live their entire lives without ever realizing this tragedy happened to them. They accept a mediocre existence. But you are different. And the urgent question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago is crucial. The question about a painful gap and a scientific name is the key. The answer to your struggle is closer than you think. When your gamma frequency went dormant, you lost your primary defense shield. This is exactly why you became so vulnerable to the narcissists who invaded your life. You could no longer see their traps clearly because your intuitive antenna was covered in modern dust. You blamed your good heart for your pain, but you were just running on low fuel. They fed on the small remnants of your light while you starved. They knew you were running on empty, and they used your exhaustion to manipulate your reality. They kept you trapped in a cycle of self-doubt, so you would never question their cruel treatment. But heaven saw your struggle. The universe watched you suffer in that low vibrational matrix. Breathe out all that old guilt right now. The delays were necessary because your physical mind was simply not calibrated to receive the massive blessings waiting for you. You cannot manifest a kingdom life while running on a survival frequency. The isolation was a pause button pressed by God to prevent you from completely burning out in the dark. You are now being awakened to reclaim everything that was stolen from you. The childhood genius did not die. It was just buried under years of chronic stress and trauma. The fact that you are listening to these words is proof that your spirit is fighting back. Your antenna is starting to clear. You are preparing to step into your true timeline. Let me expose the darkest secret of the people who hurt you. They want you to believe they targeted you because you were weak, but that is a complete lie designed to keep you small. These spiritual parasites only hunt for the brightest light in the room. You were never a weak and helpless victim. You were a premium power source for their empty and miserable souls. They came to you wearing a clever mask of victimhood. They played a sad story to trigger your deep empathy, and you fell for it because your heart is genuinely pure. You became the empath who desperately wanted to heal them. You gave them your precious time, and you sacrificed your own peace of mind while trying to fix their broken lives. But absolutely nothing was ever enough to fill their endless void. Their constant emotional chaos was entirely intentional. They manufactured daily drama to keep your nervous system in a permanent state of shock. When your mind is trapped in survival mode, your spiritual defense drops completely. This is the exact mechanism of their dark playbook. They deliberately kept you confused and exhausted so you would never realize how much power you truly hold inside your spirit. This was a calculated spiritual theft happening right in front of you. They literally stole your high frequency to fuel their own fake reality. They wore your beautiful light like a stolen coat. And whenever you tried to set a firm boundary, they twisted the narrative to make you feel guilty for protecting yourself. They projected their own ugly toxicity onto you until you forgot who you actually were, and the modern world actively helped them drain you. The system is a carefully designed matrix that feeds on your exhaustion. Society told you to just be a good person and keep forgiving the unforgivable. The modern world constantly praises the destructive cycle of endless sacrifice, but heaven calls that behavior dangerous foolishness because it ruins you. A tired chosen one is incredibly easy for the system to control. You were bleeding out spiritually while everyone else clapped for your resilience. You felt actual physical pain in your chest when their name popped up on your phone. That sudden drop in your energy was not random anxiety. That was your divine intuition screaming at you to cut the cord immediately. But you stayed far too long because society falsely convinced you that giving up on toxic people is a terrible failure. Listen carefully to this next part. Here is the powerful truth you have waited for all this time. The reason you suffered so much was never because your vibration was too low. The painful reason they attacked you so relentlessly was because your brilliant light was absolutely blinding to the hidden demons inside them. You were a massive threat to their dark kingdom from the day you were born. The moment you walked into a room, their shadows started to tremble in absolute panic. They could sense your divine royalty even when you were completely unaware of it. They knew that if you ever woke up to your true power, their manipulative game would be completely over forever. That is why they worked so hard to keep you distracted with pointless arguments. They desperately needed to keep your natural genius buried. But their fragile matrix is finally breaking down. You are waking up and seeing right through their carefully constructed illusions. The heavy fog of confusion is lifting from your mind today. You are rapidly transforming from an exhausted empath into a true master of reality, and this incredible shift in your awareness is causing absolute terror. They know they have lost their grip on your beautiful soul. A toxic person completely hates an awakened, chosen one. They realize they can no longer manipulate a soul who knows its true worth. They are watching you build iron boundaries, and it is driving them insane. Your newfound silence is a heavy weapon that is systematically destroying their fragile ego. They can no longer access the beautiful energy pool they used to drink from, so they are starving in their own darkness. You no longer need to argue or defend your righteous position. Your quiet authority is a lethal force they never anticipated. You simply remove your precious attention from their drama, and you watch their entire fake world collapse without your light to sustain it. This boundary is definitely not an act of selfish arrogance. This is you finally taking your rightful place on the spiritual throne. Take a deep breath and let this realization wash over you. The days of you playing small to make insecure people feel comfortable are officially over. You survived the brutal and devastating storm entirely alone. You walked through the dark valley, and you did not break. The intense trauma was meant to destroy your spirit completely, but it accidentally forged an unbreakable weapon of pure light instead. Do you feel that shift happening in your chest right now? That is the heavy chain of guilt finally snapping in half. The universe is stripping away every fake connection that drained your precious life force. The painful isolation they forced upon you has become your greatest advantage, and you are standing at the edge of a massive breakthrough. Type 111 down in the comments to claim this alignment right now. The shift happening inside you right now is undeniable. You can feel a strange but beautiful detachment from the things that used to completely destroy your peace. The drama of the narcissists no longer triggers your nervous system. You look at their chaotic behavior and you just feel a quiet indifference. This is the first massive sign of your frequency elevating. You are no longer easily manipulated by their fake emergencies. You watch them spin their web of lies and you simply walk away without saying a single word. Your silence is becoming a heavy armor that protects your energy field. And as you step out of their toxic matrix, the universe is sending you very clear physical signs to confirm your new alignment. You are seeing repeating numbers everywhere you look. 7, 7, 7, and 1, 1, 1 are constantly appearing on your phone and your receipts. These are not random coincidences at all. They are deliberate spiritual markers placed on your path to remind you that heaven is orchestrating your every move. The divine realm is loudly validating your difficult choices. You also feel a sudden intolerance for meaningless conversations. You used to sit through hours of superficial gossip just to be polite, but now your body literally rejects that low vibration. You feel physically exhausted when you are forced to engage with people who lack spiritual depth, because your upgraded spirit craves profound and authentic connection today. This season of transformation is glorious, but it is also incredibly exhausting. You have done the deep inner work while everyone else avoided their own reflection. You forgave the people who hurt you, and you released the heavy baggage of your past. But despite all this massive spiritual progress, you still feel like a physical block is holding you back from total freedom. You know the promised wealth and peace are waiting right outside your door, but something in your physical mind is still operating on a survival frequency. Before we go any further, I have to tell you something critical, something the elite forces who profit from your exhaustion absolutely hate for you to know. The solution to this frustrating block already exists. Neuroscientists, working quietly, away from the noisy headlines, have discovered how to bring your dormant brainwave back. They found a way to restore the exact frequency of your childhood genius, and they did it not through years of silent meditation that most people cannot sustain in a modern world. They did not use expensive biofeedback machines that cost thousands of dollars. They achieved this restoration through something far simpler and far more aligned with how you were beautifully designed to work. A team of dedicated researchers engineered a specific sound frequency to guide your brainwave patterns back to their original state. Princeton University studied this incredible phenomenon. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed it completely. Columbia University even found that when this brainwave is reactivated, it does not stop with you. It radiates outward and begins to positively influence your children and your partner. 7 minutes a day is all it takes to shift your reality. It is a compressed protocol that begins working the very first time you close your eyes and simply listen to the frequency. The gap between your current struggle and your divine inheritance is about to close forever. I will tell you exactly what this is called and how to access it before this message ends. But first, there is something you need to understand about why your massive breakthrough has been severely delayed. The enemy laid a fatal trap for you right before the finish line. You must be completely prepared for what happens when your light turns back on. When your energy field clears, the people who lost access to your spirit will desperately try to pull you back. They will send fake apologies. They will manufacture new emergencies just to test your iron boundaries. But you are no longer the empath who begs to be understood by blind people. You are standing in the center of your own power. You can feel the heavy chains of generational trauma falling off your shoulders right now. The universe is preparing to hand you the keys to a reality that most people only dream about. You just need to keep your receiver completely clear of their toxic interference. Do not let them pull you back into the dark. Take one slow breath and let the truth anchor deep in your bones. You are entering a season where your mere presence will shift the atmosphere of every room you enter. The struggle is ending. The period of quiet isolation has served its beautiful purpose. Heaven is removing the final barriers from your path because you have proven your absolute loyalty to the light. You carry the heavy ghosts of your past every single day. The painful memories of betrayal are constantly playing on a loop in your tired mind. You replay the moments when you begged for basic respect. You remember how they treated you like an ordinary option. But that old version of you is entirely dead now. You must let that victim identity burn completely to the ground because it serves absolutely no purpose in your new life. The empath who constantly apologized for existing is gone forever. You are stepping into the fierce role of a spiritual warrior today. Your deep empathy is no longer a bleeding wound for greedy parasites to feed on. It is a heavy shield that protects your sacred energy from any further harm. You must aggressively cut the invisible cords that still tie your spirit to their toxic and dying kingdom. Stop looking back at the dark rooms heaven dragged you out of. You keep checking their profiles to see if they finally regret losing you. You wonder if they ever realized how incredibly rare your pure love was. Let me give you the harsh truth right now. so you can finally heal. It does not matter what they think anymore, because their limited perception cannot validate your divine royalty. You are the bold cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. The miserable generational curses stop right here with you today. The universe chose you because you were the only soul strong enough to survive the brutal fire without turning evil. The narcissists were just temporary tools used by heaven to dramatically sharpen your intuition. Their assignment in your life is completely over now. Take a deep breath and release that heavy resentment immediately. Holding on to your quiet anger only keeps your vibration trapped in their extremely low frequency. You must forgive them, not because they ever deserve your sweet mercy. You forgive them because you absolutely require a clean energy field to receive your massive wealth. A true master of reality never holds on to toxic garbage. Your absolute silence is the ultimate form of closure. You do not need a final dramatic conversation to prove your righteous point. You do not need them to verbally admit their cruel lies and massive manipulations. Your quiet elevation is the greatest revenge you could ever achieve in this life. They are watching you rise, and they are completely terrified of your beautiful new glow. But wait. Before we go any further into your beautiful new timeline, I must address something critical. There is a fatal trap waiting for you right at the edge of your massive breakthrough. 99% of chosen ones fall for this dangerous illusion right before the dawn breaks. The darkness knows you are about to completely escape its grip, so it is planning one final strike. I have to severely warn you about this final trick. The enemy always throws a desperate and chaotic distraction when the clock is finally running out. This specific trap is carefully designed to make you doubt everything you just learned about your own worth. It is engineered to aggressively pull you back into the heavy beta waves of pure survival mode. I will reveal the exact nature of this deadly trap in just a moment. But first, you must completely solidify your new spiritual identity today. You must boldly declare to the universe that you are fully ready to hold the immense power coming your way. Your physical mind must align perfectly with your newly awakened soul. The painful resistance you feel right now is just your old self dying. Let the old weak self die in absolute peace today. Do not fight the beautiful shedding of your outdated and restrictive skin. The intense emotional pain was a rigorous crucible designed to forge an unbreakable masterpiece. You are rapidly becoming the untouchable master of your reality right now. Every tear you cried watered the massive harvest that is currently blooming all around you. You are not watching this message by some random chance. Your spirit specifically guided you to this frequency to prepare you for the final door. The universe is sweeping the floor clean, so your true kingdom connection can finally step in. You must leave the heavy baggage of betrayal far behind at the threshold. A true ruler never brings dirty trash into their brand new palace. The divine wealth transfer requires a perfectly clear channel to flow. You cannot receive the incredible abundance of heaven while your hands are tightly gripping the sharp pain of yesterday. Open your hands right now and let the universe do its perfect work. Release the foolish people who never understood your profound depth. Release the broken timeline where you were constantly treated like a completely ordinary person. You are a rare and beautiful soul. You are a brilliant anomaly in a crowded world full of fake and empty copies. Embrace the glorious truth that you were always the heavy storm they were terribly afraid of. Heaven is aligning a massive collision of beautiful miracles for you today. But you must navigate this final treacherous mile with absolute clarity. The ultimate revelation is approaching very fast, and you must be ready. The ancient forces of light are surrounding you in this exact moment. They are placing a heavy armor of divine protection over your weary shoulders. You have suffered enough for one lifetime, and the cosmic scales are finally tipping back in your favor. Step completely out of the shadow of your past and walk boldly into the brilliant light of your true destiny. Do not look back, because there is absolutely nothing left for you in the ruins. The fatal trap I warned you about earlier is finally here. It is the sudden and unexpected appearance of a toxic counterfeit from your past. They will reach out right when your real blessing is standing at the door. Do not reply to their desperate and chaotic messages. That is the final test from the universe to see if you are truly ready. You must completely ignore their distracting noise today. The waiting season is officially over. The dry desert you walked through has suddenly burst into an oasis of divine favor. Every single closed door is being blown off its hinges right now. Can you feel that massive shift in your spirit today? That is the frequency of absolute victory. You are stepping into the exact timeline you were always born to rule. The darkness is completely terrified of your awakening. They thought your silence was a sign of surrender, but what they did not realize was that solitude was your ultimate training ground. You did not break under the heavy pressure. You evolved into a magnificent force of nature. Now your presence alone shifts the atmosphere of every room you enter. The question I asked you to hold at the beginning of this message is critical. What if the frustrating gap is not a character flaw? Here is the absolute answer. A specific brainwave called the gamma wave was running in you as a child at genius capacity. Princeton University has extensively studied it. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed it completely. Columbia University found that when this brainwave is beautifully restored, it radiates outward and powerfully influences the people you love most. A brilliant team of neuroscientists, led by Dr. Robert Lake in New York, spent years working on this. They compressed the full clinical protocol for gamma reactivation into just 7 minutes of audio. Before I tell you what they built, let me tell you about 2 people who used it. A woman from California had tried absolutely everything to heal. She tried meditation and endless manifesting. Nothing broke the heavy fog. But after 2 weeks of listening, she said something beautifully cleared. Her marriage shifted and she described her life as enchanted for the first time. A man from Texas started using it to strictly improve his business focus. 2 months later, his wife joked that his IQ had jumped 20 points. The hardest problems he used to lose sleep over started solving themselves while he slept. He said it felt like his brain was finally running on what it was always supposed to run on. That is exactly what Dr. Lake built. They call it the Genius Song. It is not a meditation app. It is not a generic sound frequency. It is a 7-minute audio track using advanced brain entrainment technology. It is compressed from 1 full hour of clinical protocol into something you do at home. You simply put your headphones on and close your tired eyes. That is the entirety of what it requires. You do not chant or try to focus. You simply let the frequency do what your brain was beautifully designed to receive. The Genius Song is not for everyone. It is uniquely for the chosen one who has already done the massive inner work. It is for the person who understands that the block is just a suppressed frequency. If your spirit confirms this, the path is below. Biofeedback sessions to restore this state cost hundreds of dollars per hour in a clinical setting. An in-home machine runs thousands of dollars. What the Genius Song delivers in 7 minutes is available to you today for a fraction of its true value. 4 powerful bonuses come directly with it to support your massive spiritual journey forward. You get an audio designed specifically for your children, and you receive the original prosperity text that The Secret was secretly built upon. You also get a guided visualization and a daily habits guide. Here is the deeper truth about waiting. The incredible blessing that has been arranged for you does not arrive as brand new information. It arrives as a clear recognition. Something already placed in your path becomes totally visible when gamma is restored. The chosen one who restores the receiver today finally sees what was always there. Waiting is not neutral, because the divine arrangement is already in motion. Do not look for this ancient frequency on YouTube or Spotify. The tracks circulating there have no brain entrainment encoded. The only authentic version is available through the secure link. The universe requires absolutely no risk from a chosen one. If you do not feel the shift, every single penny is returned. That is an energetic exchange governed by complete trust. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. Please listen carefully to what I am about to say next. The tool is never the destination. The tool merely restores the receiver so the destination can be recognized when it arrives. God does not require you to purchase anything to be deeply loved or chosen. What was described is simply one way the receiver is beautifully restored. Whether that path is yours or not, the truth of this powerful message belongs to you. Now let us go deeper into what is waiting for you. The chains are broken and your glorious crown is completely restored. You are stepping into a radiant season of unbothered peace and extreme wealth. You have officially passed the brutal test of the desert. The gates of heaven are swinging wide open to welcome you home to your true power. You are no longer the empath who begged to be understood. The crucible of pain has completely forged you into the untouchable master of your reality. You survived the darkest nights when absolutely nobody came to save you. And because you walked through that brutal fire alone, you now carry a light that cannot be extinguished. The weak version of you is entirely gone. From this moment on, your energy demands absolute respect without a single word spoken. You do not have to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. The days of shrinking yourself to fit into their small boxes are completely over. You are stepping into a massive timeline of divine wealth and unbothered peace. Your heavy debts are being cancelled. The people who plotted against you are watching your rise in absolute terror. They thought their betrayal would break your spirit forever, but they accidentally activated a primal and dangerous level of spiritual power inside you instead. You became the magnificent storm you were always trying to survive. The universe is preparing a beautiful table for you right in front of them. You will sit at that table with complete grace and quiet authority. You will not gloat or seek silly revenge, because your frequency is entirely too high for their drama. Heaven has completely scrubbed their toxic residue from your sacred energy field. You are pure, and you are incredibly powerful today. The divine wealth you were promised is flowing effortlessly into your open hands. Every closed door from your past is making perfect sense right now. You were crying over losing things that were actually designed to destroy your beautiful future. The jobs you did not get, and the people who walked away were just divine detours. Heaven was actively routing you toward a much higher destiny. You are finally seeing the massive master plan unfold before your eyes. For the chosen one whose spirit confirmed what was described earlier, the path remains open in the description. The frequency tool is waiting for you there if you are fully ready to restore your receiver. That is the last time it will be mentioned in this message. What follows now belongs entirely to your sacred sealing. The closing of this message is for something much deeper. The pitch-black darkness has officially retreated behind you. The glorious dawn of your brand new era is shining its brightest rays onto your spiritual crown. You must lock in this magnificent frequency right now. You need to create an absolute shield of protection around your beautiful mind. The enemy wants you to forget everything heaven just spoke into your tired soul. Do not let them steal this massive revelation from you. The angels are standing guard over your house and your precious family today. Every curse spoken against your bloodline has been completely reversed and sent back to the sender. You are walking wrapped in a heavy cloak of divine favor. Nothing can touch you unless you foolishly give them permission to enter your space. Your heart is finally safe from their cruel and endless games. You will never again have to beg for basic human decency or respect. The people who enter your life from this moment forward will match your high frequency perfectly. Heaven is sending you divine connections who will fiercely protect your light instead of draining it. You are entering a season of beautiful and balanced love. I need you to participate in a sacred transaction right now. If this fiery message has reignited the beautiful faith inside you, do not keep this great blessing to yourself. There is a broken soul out there, bleeding in the dark of despair. They are desperately needing a guiding light today. Share this message with them right now to multiply your own incredible blessing. Sowing the seed of hope today is multiplying the massive harvest for yourself tomorrow. When you send this truth to someone in need, you prove to the universe that your hands are fully open to receive. Heaven blesses the chosen ones who bravely partner with the light. Become the bridge for someone else, and watch how fast your own miracles manifest in your life. You are the bold cycle breaker that future generations will deeply thank. You took the heavy generational trauma and you completely transmuted it into pure gold. Your children and your grandchildren will walk in absolute freedom because you refused to surrender to the dark. Your quiet victory today has literally rewritten the spiritual DNA of your entire family line forever. This is your final seal of absolute protection. You are permanently shielded from the manipulative narcissists and the energy vampires. Their dark magic has no power over your brilliant gamma frequency. You are operating on a kingdom level now. Every step you take from today onward is ordered by the divine creator of the universe. You are entirely safe. Breathe out the last remaining shadow of your painful past. You have passed the ultimate test of the wilderness. The heavy chains are broken, and your glorious crown is completely restored. Welcome to the kingdom timeline you were always meant to inherit. Your beautiful season of massive abundance and quiet peace begins right now.